If you hold assets in your personal name, those assets are at risk of being taken in the event of death, bankruptcy, or ill health. I'm going to tell you a couple of stories in this video about how assets can be taken by the government or local authorities, or even worse, some grubby private medical company. And I'm going to give you a few things to think about how to protect your assets from these people. So I've just been to visit my parents down the south coast here in the UK, and I met up with a mate of mine, an old friend who I've known since I was a boy. Cut a long story short, his father has just been sent into a care home because he has dementia. His father, I've known my entire life, and his mother, who passed away 8 years ago, were a normal family. You know, they weren't rich, they weren't poor, but they always had enough, you know. But my mate's dad, he worked his entire life. He bought a house. They put a house over his family's head. He had savings. When my mate's mum died, the insurance paid out for the house, so cleared the mortgage. So the house is owned outright. And there was a small cash payout of about £25,000. So now my mate's dad has a £250,000 house, and he also has £60,000 in savings. That's roughly $350,000 for the house and $80,000 in savings. Now here's the important bit, right? My mate's dad, who has been sent to this care home because he has dementia, the fees for this care home are £6,000, $8,000 per month. Because my mate's dad is over a certain threshold in the UK, which is about £23,000, he is a self-funder. He is inclined to pay his own fees for that care home. The care home, through his local government, or in the US is called the state government, will take $8,000, £6,000 every month out of his savings to pay for his care until all his savings are gone. Then, through the local government, through an agreement, they will continue to charge £6,000, $8,000 every month until the day he dies. When that happens, the local government will put a charge on my mate's dad's house, sell it, and keep the money to pay for the fees. His entire life savings and the house he worked every day of his life to pay for will be taken to pay for his care. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, that's fair enough. He needs the care to be paid for. It's there to be paid for. But here's the kicker. If he's alive and the savings are gone and the house has been sold, he gets the care for free. Not only does he get the care for free, just like other people in that care home with dementia, with special needs, they're getting it for free too. So even though some people in that care home have not worked their entire life, have no savings, they are getting the same level of care for free. How in any world is that fair? Now, maybe it is fair, I don't know. But because those assets are in his personal name, they have been taken to pay for his care. If you're new to the channel, I'm trading a Bitcoin retirement portfolio. Over the next 10 years, I'm going to turn $10,982 into $1 million portfolio. Last year, I lost my business, and in that business was a property. When the business eventually got liquidated, the government took that property to pay off debts. Now, there's two very similar stories there. Assets being taken to fund other things, but the lesson across both those stories is exactly the same. Make sure you get good, sound advice. Because if your assets are in your personal name, they're at risk of being taken. But if you hold your assets in a safe, legal and compliant company structure, they are protected. So if you get ill or you go bankrupt, or in the event that you die, your Bitcoin assets can be taken to pay for things such as funerals, care homes, anything like that. But if they're in a limited company with a proper structure, proper setup, they are protected and they are left for your loved ones behind. Some of you watching might be saying, well, didn't you lose your limited company and the property in it? Yes, I did. But in hindsight, and now that I've taken the advice, had I held that property in a holding company and not in my trading company, the property would have been saved because it's a different company. Had I got good, proper advice first time round, I would still have my property today. Now, two ways to look at that. I've learned the lesson too late, the property's gone, or I've absolutely learned the lesson at the right time before I start this project to make sure my Bitcoin portfolio is protected. Now, as you know, my channel's all about full transparency, full disclosure. My current Bitcoin portfolio is held in a UK limited company. That means over the last 3 years when I've made gains and taxable events, I've had to pay corporation tax on that. I'm currently going through a process, getting some advice, and the advice I'm hearing so far is I need to be holding my crypto, my Bitcoin portfolio in a legal, safe and compliant company structure with an overseas, tax efficient, favorable jurisdiction. That's another video for another time, but holding your Bitcoin in a tax efficient, safe and importantly legal and compliant structure is how you'll protect your assets. Certainly for retirement like I'm doing. Now, there will be questions about how can I access my crypto, how can I access my gains when I live in the UK, I'm not a UAE resident. Absolutely great questions, and they are questions that I will answer in another video another time. But for now, while I'm making this video on my way home from seeing my mate, I needed to get it out there that if you are holding your Bitcoin in your personal name, it is at risk. You need to start doing some research now about putting your Bitcoin in a legal, tax efficient, compliant structure that protects it in the event of death, which happens to all of us, illness, which would happen to a lot of us, or bankruptcy, which may happen to any one of us for whatever reason. If you want me to make more videos about this and potentially get the tax specialist and UAE compliance structure specialist back on a video, let me know in the comments below. It's such an important subject, especially if, like me, you're holding your Bitcoin for a long-term time horizon. You're going to be relying on your Bitcoin for your retirement. That's why it's vital to get the structure right now. Use these stories as your lessons. Let me take the lesson. Let me take the hit for you. Let my mate's dad take the hit for you. You need to be holding your assets in a legal, compliant structure which protects them from eventualities just like that. Thanks for getting this far, guys. If you are interested in how I'm going to be trading the next 3 cycles to take my $10,000 Bitcoin portfolio to a multi-million-dollar retirement portfolio, have a watch of this video up here. Thanks again.